Hello, welcome. It's Saturday night, 10 o'clock. I'm quite tired and ready to go to bed. I'm hoping this match report's quick. I don't know that it will be. Who knows? Um, Castle RSL Cricket Club B grade played Kenthurst Cricket Club B grade today at Kenthurst number 2. It's the bottom field, the synthetic oval. It's an older field, so it's got a little bit of bounce in it, which we've discovered today. 2-day game. We bowled first. I think the skipper won the toss. Cannot recall. Well, not I can't recall. I didn't actually find out. So Anyway, we bowled first on a day that was. I don't know. It was a drizzly kind of day. Drizzle doesn't describe it. Like there was a bit of rain beforehand, a little bit of rain for the day, but it was kind of fine between a drizzle and a mist, a mizzle. I think that's a real word actually. So I sat in that sort of area, but it was still humid enough. Like bowling a couple of overs got a bit sort of sweaty and whatever. But the ball, there wasn't a lot of water on the ground, but there's enough to make the ball die over time. Also, given it's an older pitch, a lot of very sort of sandy, muddy run-ups. Tries to describe it. I don't know. I walked out before the game, went, oh, the run-ups are flat, and then I went to bowl and went, this is fucking shit. It probably needs a little bit of the ground. Oh, who am I kidding? The ground itself I thought was good as well until I went out to field and saw how many patches of crap there were in it. It's a soccer field that needs some work. So I guess long story short is the ball got belted. It got wet. It got sandy, whatever. Minimum 70 a day. We bowled 74. That's not too bad. So that's where we're at. For those of you who want to stick around, I'll start having a bit of a chat now. Again, I'll try and be fairly quick because I want to go to bed. You guys probably watch this tomorrow, but I'm going to drive to Mossman tomorrow for classics. So this ground at Kenthurst is a small ground. Always has been a small ground. I mean, it doesn't grow. It's not a person or a plant. It's always been a small ground, and we've played them before, and they've bumped us to the boundary like sixes and blah blah. So to give you an example of the slowness of today, so 74 overs, they scored 200 runs. So that's less than 3 and over. They did not hit a single six on this tiny little fucking postcard stamp of a ground. Which, a couple of things. It's good our bowling. We bowled well enough. Also, they bored me. I'm sorry, but this was a boring day. Getting a bit excited. I really hope that the opposition actually cotton onto the fact that I do these and watch them, because I sometimes just talk about them. So I wish I hadn't really chopped off their speed of things. I've got some of it. So let's put it this way. So it drinks 20 overs, 2 for 63. So 3 and over at that stage. 10 overs, 1 for 32. So it looks like 3 and over seem to be the go. And bear in mind, this is a 5 and over ground. T was, I think, at 32 overs, 4 for 95. Yeah, annoyingly, we had them at 5 for 114 or 5 for 112. 6 for 128. The fact that they've got onto 200 is really annoying. There's a 15-year-old kid who he was a good batsman, but he did nothing until I bowled my last 2 overs. And then he decided he wanted to have a swing, and I think Glenn came on to replace me at the other end because Mick was going to swing me around, and I went, you know what, I can't. We'll get onto it. Let's go back at the. As I said, measly sort of day, but humid. Ball was never going to be really good. Deck and myself opened the bowling because Mick wanted to. I know Wesley's sort of a bit disappointed he didn't see the new ball and get to actually do some work with the new ball, and that's a fair call because he's bowling very, very well at the moment. But we know from experience on this field that taking the pace off stops them hitting boundaries and sixes. So he's gone with me at one end. Deck bowled great. Fourth first over, maiden, four, couple. Anyway, end of the day. So Deck did 2 spells. End of the day, bowled 11 overs with, so what's that, 3 for 30? Oh, they didn't put it over there, so I think if I read that correctly, yeah, 3 for 30. His last 2 overs were maidens. This is how the day ended. Them sort of fucking blocking the shit out of things. There's a lot of maidens today. In fact, I don't do this very often. I'm not going to get all of them, but I'll try. Let me flick back to the other picture that I had because I think it's got all the bowling figures. Yeah, it does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Out of a 74 over day, 22 of those were maidens. I don't know. We were making comments about paint dry, grass grow, watching the kettle fucking boil, all that shit. We were bored to fucking tears, I'll be honest with you. But you know, they're coming last. They're probably trying to stick around a bit, and it was probably the right thing for them to do. But anyway, so I bowled myself and Deck, set the tone. And did it quite well. They didn't score early. They didn't do much at all. I bowled 7 up front, 1 for 16 at that point. So what's that? Just on 2 and over and a wicket. Deck, I think Deck's second spell, I think he might have bowled 5 up front before he came back. So he was done for 24 at that point. But came back to end up with 3 for 30. So, and as I said, off 11 overs. So less than 3 and over. 3 wickets, some cracking wickets at the end. The problem with this is it's always hard to sort of chronologically go through it. So I'll go through some of the bowling figures and how well everybody bowled, and then I might just go through a quick run through the wickets, and then we'll call it quits at around about, say, 8 minutes in, call it about the 20-minute mark. Declan bowled fantastic today, 3 for 30 from 11. So 3 wickets, less than 3 and over. I end up with 1 for 26 from 9, so what's that? 9, 9's 18, 27. So yeah, just less than 3 and over. Got a wicket in my second over. I had at one stage after 1, 2, 3, 4 overs was 1 for 1 from 4 overs. Even 1 for 8 from 5 was pretty good. But yeah, 1 for 1 from 4. So we set the tone very well early. I think Stan's replaced Merv and Jake's replaced myself. So I'll give you Stan's figures, which were phenomenal as well. 13 overs, he finished with 4 maidens at the end. So 3 for 28 from 13. So 3 threes are 39, or 26. So just over 2 and over, and 3 wickets. Stan's a magician. I think I said out there in the field today. In fact, I might have been, no, there's a few people that didn't finish with maidens because I was going to say, look at the next one. Jake's last 2 overs were maidens as well. Jake bowled more overs than he's bowled in a long time. Ended up with none for 29 from 10, so less than 3 and over. Unlucky not to get a wicket, but it was hard to get him to play shots to him. Jake bowled, I think, 3 or 4 spells. His role is normally just to jump in, grab a couple overs, see if you can jag a wicket. So, just do that. I think he had, as I said, 3 or 4 spells today doing that. So, again, so we're still all either 3 and over or less for all of us. Westy cranked it up today. Actually, Declan was bowling a lot faster today too, just to go back on it. But Westy's cranked it up. Said he was a bit disappointed didn't get the new ball and couldn't get to do a lot, but none for 26 from 11, so well less. 22's 2 and over, so 2 and a kind of little bit. Unlucky not to get a wicket, just too good for him. Let's be fair. Macca, as always, is the genius of the spin ball. 13 overs, 2 for 38. So less than 3 and over, 2 wickets again. So if you're starting to get the theme, I mean, a lot of you people are watching this actually were there today, but you know what? To get the wickets was hard. They made us work for them because they weren't playing the big shots. They weren't, as I said, not a single 6 on this ground is unheard of. It's like watching the Poms and them not trying to play a baseball. I don't know. It was boring. I've said it. I'll say it again. Zach bowled so well. None for 16 from 7, so just over 2 and over. Just smidgen, scraping over 2 and over. Zach bowled so well. Couldn't just jag the wicket because they just wouldn't play the shot. And there were just a couple of falls here and there because they did wait for the bad ball. Look, let's be fair. They were patient, and I think a lot of this is to do with the fact that they're coming last in the comp, and they've gone, okay, we need to be more patient, stick around and wait for the bad ball. I get it. It's not the wrong thing to do. But when your falls are so infrequent, and because your field's small, you can't run 1s and 2s. There was a couple of 2s that didn't reach the boundary, but if you're not reaching the boundary, you've got to be supplementing with quick running between the wickets and keeping that score ticking over. They weren't. They were just sitting there for, as again, a third of the overs were maidens. I mean, and that just coincides because they're like in the scorecard there. You can see them. The black shader ones, they're easy to pick out. If I really had the time, I could go back and go, okay, how many overs have they scored 1s and 2s off? Because I'm sure that, so you're getting like half the overs, they just weren't scoring. Glenn only bowled 3 overs. He bowled 2 overs up front and 2 maidens. I think he got a wicket. This scorecard may be wrong actually. And I'm sure you guys can correct me in the comments, please, because I think we talked about this earlier. I'm pretty sure Glenn took a wicket. And then Skipper brought me back for a couple of overs. And young 15-year-old kid sort of tried out. Well, when I say he went after me, those 2 overs I went for 3 off the first one and 7 off the next one. But there was 2 wides in there. Night, mate. Which went wide. Hang on, we're going to talk about this a bit later on. Anyway, yeah. So Glenn none for 3 from 3 overs. Because Skipper was going to send me back to the other, back to the other end, where the other guy probably wasn't going to call as many wides. But I think Glenn was bowling well enough, so came back on. That's it. What are we? 13 minutes in. I promised to try and do this less than 20. Going through the wickets. Oh, okay. This is a good one. So I don't have the score of what the guy scored, but I'll just talk about the wickets. Their opener, who looked like he got a few runs. I don't think I had him on the other scorecard either. I think I'd cut it off. Munster. Yeah, I've cut him off, unfortunately. So based on that one, he actually did score some runs. I think he did. He's out here for quite a while. Fours, twos. Stumped. Macca, stumped by Mick. So Mick, after a couple of weeks and some dodgy umpiring decisions, finally got his 150th stumping for Castle Hill. Pretty sure it's 150, not 250. I think it was 150th. 150th stumping for the club, which is incredibly brilliant. It's a lot of stumpings. Yeah, it was a bit funny actually. The kids played the shot, got stumped, we appealed, and his foot was out of the ground, and he made no attempt to actually even put his bat or his foot back. He was just remained standing there. So the umpire looked at him and went, "Well, I've got to give you up, mate. You've not even tried to get back. You've just stayed standing where you are." So yeah, so that was good. He wasn't the first wicket. No, first wicket was their other opener, G. Karen, who got not much. As I said, I've chopped all this off. That was to me. So that was in the 4th over. They'd scored nothing off me to that point. I was just bowling falling off, which was really nice. They wouldn't score. Couldn't. One of the others score. Dragged one a little shorter. It wasn't necessarily intentionally, but it did give her an opportunity to have a bit of a slasher. His Slash and Jake, with his giant arms and his big bucket hand, went up at gully and just caught it. So that was a really, really good start to the day. And I thought at that point, here we go. Not long after that, we got there. Oh, so they were 1 for 4. Not long after that, so 2 for 32. We got Becker. Caught behind of Stan. Okay, so we'd had a bowling change. That's right, Stan come on. Maybe it was the first ball there, Stan. I don't know if it was. Let me just check that. It was Stan's very first ball. Caught behind. Cracking start from Stan, which was really, really good. And Stan went on a bit of a rampage. You got 2. When did you get the second wicket? Oh, not until later in the day. They kind of went on some runs, so I'll quickly just run through the things. So obviously their number 1 was stumped. This is not the order of outs. This is just the wickets. Stumped to give Mickey's 150th. Number 2 was caught by Jake with a cracking catch in the gully. Big hand. We just on catching, we dropped a few today, but they weren't. I mean, there was a couple probably sitters. So I think Macca dropped a caught and bowled, and Zach dropped a caught and bowled. But made up for it pretty quickly. I don't think whoever they missed, they got out again. Macca did get a really good caught and bowled a bit later. So I think they kind of surprised them with how slow it came back to them. We had a couple. We had a few drop catches, but they weren't bad ones. Ben dropped one like out in cow, but he's right out in the deep, which is probably the longest boundary of this thing, and it's ringed by trees. The ball's dark red because it's wet and slippery, and the drizzle's coming down. So it wasn't conducive to catching. So some of the other catches that were dropped were really like diving low, or there was no real sitters dropped, I wouldn't think. Aside from the 2 caught and bowls, but again, sometimes if they don't come back to you at the pace you're expecting, they sort of thing. So I don't know that there's a young kid still in there, and I'm not sure what he's on. I'll find out in a second. Actually, I'll find out right now for you. He's still there on. Oh, I'll have to add it up. Fuck off. 4, 6, 8, 12, 13, 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 4, 26, 30, 35. But he's been out there for fucking forever. Let's find out when he came in. What's his name? A. Woods. When did you come in, Mr. Woods? Oh, there we go. Came in at 6 for. He's on 35. 6 for 128. So they're now 9 for 200. So at his 35, so 47 overs. He's been out there for, it's at 54 plus 3. 57 overs for his 35. I mean, I know you're learning, you're 15, but for fuck's sake, come on, mate. Anywho, so I was up to, going through the wickets, wasn't I? So back to this one. Caught behind for Stan. That was number 3. Number 4 bats was caught by Deck. That was out in the deep, I think. Yeah, mid off. I'm sorry, long off. Correct me if I'm wrong, Deck. Stan got number 4, hoiking it out to long off, and Dex taking a really, really good catch. We've got a caught here by the bowler was Declan, number 5 batsman. Doesn't say who caught it. I'm not sure that one. It's caught by Macca. I said Dex got 2 that were caught. He got a bowled, which was great. And there was a caught for Stan. So there's a few catches. We haven't actually written them in here, so I can't tell you who took the catches because, look, I could rack my brain, but no one wants me to do that. It'll just take forever. Look, I think I've waffled enough. The key thing today was Mick's 150 stumping. That was huge. The teams, everyone bowled well. Declan bowled really incredibly well. Westy bowled really, really well. It's hard to get wickets when they're not really going, especially when you're quick. So a lot of the runs Westy went for were thick edges and all sorts of crap. And we had lots sort of go just past hands or just over people's heads. And as I said, a couple of drop ones because of the weather. It was kind of a tough day. Look, see, I'm yawning. You can see how tough a day it was. I'm still bored. What was good was coming home watching the end of the Ashes and seeing Travis Head go just berserk. I'm not going to go into that now because no one wants to sit here and listen to me. You can go back and watch my preview on my day 1 of the Ashes. I'm not doing a day 2 because I didn't watch it, but I did listen to some of it on the way home. So really, really, really pleased that we won that game. And on the back of Travis Head, it's not a surprise. So anyway, next week. I'm sorry. Again, it's 10:30 at night. A lot of people go to bed around here at 10:30 at night. What movie is that from? If you know from a lot of people go to bed around here at 10:30 at night, tell me what movie it is in the comments because I've forgotten. But I do know that quote. So yeah, 9 for 200. They have told us they're batting on next week. I don't know why, unless they're going to try and hit the ball a bit more. Who knows? Brighter day, we may just try and throw Declan and Westy at them. I don't know. It's up to the skipper, but try and rip through them a little bit, and then chase it down. I've got no doubts we can chase this down. This ground is a boundary machine. As long as we protect our wickets, hit the loose balls, and take the 1s and 2s because they'll undoubtedly push the field back. Take the 1s and 2s that they didn't take, we'll win the game. We've got a really good batting lineup, so we should win. Thank you everybody for sticking around and watching my match report. Those of you playing classics, I'll see you tomorrow if I wake up in time. Fuck's sake, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So there you go, that's our day, that's enough from me.